we'll start with you. We've really enjoyed having the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce come to Washington every year. Every time the Chamber of Commerce comes to Washington, we try to have a special event with them. One highlight was a few years ago while they were in town. They happened to be in Washington on September the 17th, which of course, as we all know, is our favorite holiday, Constitution Day. And we decided to have an event. We invited Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas to join us for dinner. And after dinner, we played our favorite game in the Lee family, which is called Constitution Jeopardy, with Clarence Thomas. And I believe, Lane, that your team actually beat Clarence Thomas. Was that right?
No, Senator, you are on my team. And, and I just want you to know that when we came in, we had the president of Hilldale College. We had Clarence Thomas and his wife, who is an incredibly sharp woman, and my wife and I, and Senator Lee and his wife. And I just want you to know that we didn't win the contest in Jeopardy dealing with the Constitution of the United States. I think Robin Riggs and I think Spencer Stokes had aligned a group that were very well done.
Yeah, well, Riggs had rigged the game, so I'm going to take that one to my grave as one of the great injustices of the last century. But Lena, why don't we start out with you, and why don't you just tell the group a little bit about why you think these ideas are so important and what it means to you to develop ideas to deal with some of today's challenges, including initiatives on regulatory reform.
Well, thank you, Senator Lee. We deeply appreciate the opportunity to be here, and also all of the business community from Utah. It makes a huge difference when you're in Washington, D.C., and you have an opportunity, as we have had just literally 10 days ago when we were there, Senator Booker and Senator Leahy, who, in all honesty, you wouldn't think Mike Lee would have the influence to invite them in to visit with the Salt Lake Chamber. They're obviously from a different party, but I just again want to thank you for the insights that they shared with us also, which were very important. When you look at regulation, I don't think any organization in the country has been more concerned with regulation than has the U.S. Chamber. Regulation of what it does to small businesses and large businesses. Obviously, the proliferation from a bank standpoint, and the proliferation of the many requirements that are there are literally impacting our banks in a major way. You turn around and you see EPA and what is happening there with the number of laws that they have put in place, most of them never passing Congress's scrutiny. And yet that is a huge concern to us, and why even we at the Salt Lake Chamber have the #1 initiative this next year is going to be regulation, because it affects the success of Utah in a major way. We appreciate the involvement, again, that so many people have had, and just the simple recommendations. You look at medical devices, and that's before we even talk about Obamacare and the impacts that has across the state of Utah on every business that we have. And if you don't think it impacts you yet, I promise you will within the next 6 months, because it will affect your bottom lines even more so than we have ever had before. Deeply concerned about what is happening to businesses in the state of Utah. And that's why we care so much about the importance of what we believe Congress is supposed to be. And that is that in the height of the greatest success they have is bringing together great people who literally come from different parts of the world, different parts of philosophy, but can sit down. And Senator Lee, we just want to acknowledge the success that we've had with your help. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next we're going to hear from Todd Bingham with the Utah Manufacturers Association. And before I get to that, I just want to say that I so appreciate the Utah Manufacturers Association for so many things, including the fact that they have helped us decorate one of the conference rooms in my office. A few months ago, I moved offices. I used to be in room 316 of the Hart building, and we moved to room 361A of the Russell building. And when we moved, we decided that one of our conference rooms would have the name of the Made in Utah room. The Utah Manufacturers Association has supplied us with all kinds of items that are manufactured in Utah so that we can show them off to people as they come into the office. We've got all kinds of things in there. I mean, there's a basketball hoop with a backboard. We have carbon fiber bicycle rim. We've got a blender, which is basically a 747 jet engine with a blender attachment to it. We haven't used that one yet, but we look forward to it. We also have a bowling ball that was manufactured in Utah. And late one night a few months ago, as we were debating the USA Freedom Act and the proposed reauthorization of Section 215 of the Patriot Act, we were at the office at about midnight. We were voting in and out of votes all day. And Boyd Matheson, my chief of staff, exercised the unwise judgment of reminding me that we had a bowling ball in the office at midnight. And I decided it was time for us to have some fun while we were waiting for the next vote. So we actually went bowling in the halls of the Russell Building at midnight with that bowling ball. It was a lot of fun. We realized we didn't have any pins, so we decided to turn it into a game of soccer. And note to self, if you kick a bowling ball, it kind of hurts. So I just thought I'd let you in on that. So Todd, why don't we have you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you face as manufacturers and some of the things that you've got in mind for how we could deal with those.
Senator, thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to provide a lot of product for that conference room. When we were there in April, brought about 30 of our companies back there, and it was fun to see them walk into the room and see their products in there. In fact, I would say we broke bread with the senator, but we actually had cereal. We had Malta-Meal post-consumer brand cereal with the senator in his conference room. So I don't know if anybody ever does that, but we had marshmallow mateys with the senator in his conference room. It was a lot of fun. So we appreciate that, and thanks for the opportunity to do that. Manufacturing in the state of Utah is a big player in the economy. Elaine alluded to it a little bit there with some of the issues related to medical device. We have many of our companies here in the state of Utah. We represent about 1,000 different manufacturing companies, and they do everything from bowling balls to rockets to diapers to donuts to whatever you're looking around you right today has been manufactured by somebody, and so we appreciate that. One of the biggest issues that I think, there are two big issues that are affecting manufacturers moving forward that I think getting together in this idea factory helps us solve those issues. One is regulation, and Lane talked a little bit about that. That will continue to be a major issue for us, whether it's the recent changes, proposal changes to ozone regulations is going to have an impact on manufacturers across the state. Small manufacturers are going to have to look at how to deal with the new regulations on ozone and how that might affect their ability to either hire more individuals, produce more payroll, and do things like that, or deal with how to get to that regulation issue. The second thing that's probably the most important thing, and as our board met last week, they talked a lot about this issue, is workforce development, talent shortage. Today's baby boomers are in the stage of retiring, and in manufacturing, the average age is somewhere in the 55 to 57-year-old age. We struggle today as an industry to find high-tech, highly skilled individuals to come into our industry, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges right now that is holding manufacturing back. We hear a lot about how Utah is a fabulous place to do business, and we certainly are and will continue to be with the great policies that our legislators, both state and federal, help us maintain. However, with a skilled workforce that is in demand right now, that is really a challenge for us to continue moving down the road. Probably number one issue for our companies is they simply can't find people to hire, and they begin to become a little bit cannibalistic. They hire from each other, they steal from each other, and that's a short-term problem, but it certainly doesn't solve the issue. So we see that as a major thing moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're also pleased to have Chet Linton with us from the Utah Technology Council. Utah has had this extraordinary stream of successes over the last couple of decades in the high-tech sector, such that some people refer to the Wasatch Front as Silicon Slopes, and we're very grateful for the successes we've had in that area. And the Utah Technology Council has played a really lead role in that, and they've been tremendously useful to me, very, very helpful as I've tried to deal with some of the changes that we face in the technology sector. This is one of the other areas where I've been able to come up with some ideas, seeing a problem, and eventually come to some bipartisan consensus on it. I developed a patent litigation reform bill with Senator Leahy a couple years ago. We're still pushing on that one, but we're gaining some real momentum with bipartisan support for patent litigation reform. But Chet, why don't you just tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you face in this sector, and particularly as it relates to what I know is one of your biggest challenges, which is developing a qualified workforce. You can't just go out and hire anybody. You're looking for a particular type of person with a particular type of skills and training.
Yes, thanks, Senator. It's an honor to be here. We're happy to participate as well. You know, the workforce issues have been a big challenge for us for many, many years. And as an organization, we have, in fact, as a state, a little bit of trivia that's probably good for all of you to know. We have 5,000 technology companies in the state of Utah right now. And there are many that are formed. Last year we had over 450 new companies that were tech companies that were announced. Of course, it's a sector that's growing largely, and we're excited and grateful for that. But Todd teed it up very well. We have the same challenges. Nationally, there are 2 million technology-based jobs that are vacant right now in the U.S. In fact, there's 1 million tech-based jobs in the manufacturing sector alone. So the whole workforce issue is a national issue. However, when it comes to the state of Utah, it's hitting us very, very hard. Several months ago, we polled in a meeting. There were about 45 executives there, and we asked, how many jobs do you have that you're filling over the next year? There were 1,850 jobs just among those 45 technology companies that each of us were striving to fill as we went throughout this year, 2015. We don't see the problem going away, you know, and we'd rather have this problem than the other one, Senator, but the challenge is that how we've looked at it is that we've realized that as an organization, our responsibility to our members and to the companies here in the state is that we've got to look at the whole process. What happens in K-12? Are parents aware? We realized that parents weren't aware of STEM jobs, of those tech jobs that were out there. So science, technology, education, and mathematics. And so there's been a tremendous amount of effort that's gone on. I saw Stan Lockhart over here at one of the tables, one of our more recent state school board members, and also a major driver in helping a lot of these initiatives get passed. But just to explain a little bit, for the last several years, we've been really striving to get more engineers in these companies. And so there's been a big engineering initiative. We have a few legislators here that have helped drive that legislation, and so there's funds that have been approved, and each year just about each year those funds go up because we need to get more engineers in the field, not only in computer science but electrical engineering and other engineering fields as well. So we realize that the pipeline is key, and awareness also. The STEM Action Center, which is now in its third year, is fully funded. How many of you seen the STEM ads on television in the media campaign? Almost everybody has, and some of you may notice them now going forward. But this is a big initiative we've seen alignment with government, as well as industry and the Utah State Office of Education, as well as schools across the state. So we're really trying to push the word down there, not only at the secondary level but also at the elementary level, so students hear about it. The media campaign is to help parents be aware of these opportunities. You know, the average technology job in the state, according to the Division of Workforce Services, starts at about $86,000 a year. As companies, what we're finding, you know, our coders, the software developers that we hire, the average salary for some of the positions we hire for, average is about $109,000 a year. So these are high-paying jobs, and we are really striving to find the ways we can help people inform. The last piece of this is that we realize that school counselors were not aware of the jobs that were out there and open, and these challenges. And so for the last 3 years, we have a number of executives. Usually there's about 25 that volunteer. The Counselors Association has been great. We're able to expose all 850 counselors in the state of Utah to the tech jobs in the state, what's available, what's coming, how do we work, what do we look for. And this has had great influence. I have counselors every year that say, I was not aware of these jobs. These are the things that our students need to be aware of. And we're seeing some great impact now. Additionally, last year we had computer science was actually approved as a science in the state of Utah, which is significant. You know, kids won't take the class if they don't get the credit they need, and it doesn't help them for college. And also mathematics this last year was another key initiative, so students can really be prepared when they go to school. So again, we're seeing we think the needle's moving, but the biggest challenge is just supply and getting the word out there so students are encouraged to join and sign up for those classes to have impact and continue and really be ready for college and career as they move through and can take advantage of the jobs.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight. We'll always continue to look for ways that we can solve each of those problems. But thank you very much for being here, and let's give them a round of applause for their participation. Thanks, guys. Our next guest is someone who, in the state of Utah and elsewhere, almost needs no introduction, but is someone that I'm honored to know and call my friend. Governor Mike Leavitt became the governor of Utah after the election in the fall of 1992. He served as our governor, being elected to that office 3 times until he was later appointed to 2 very important positions in Washington. Appointed to first become the EPA administrator and later to become the secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Please welcome to the stage Governor Mike Leavitt.